Hi guys, it's me, Salagi. I just wanted to show you that they kind of updated it so you can see what's exactly burning on this frontage fire. So it's just mainly in the wash, and it's kind of cool if you look at the, well, not cool, but I'll show you in a minute. Look at this. Appears to be because of the wind, probably. There's pieces blowing that way. But if we go ahead and look at this is what I was talking about that's kind of cool. Not the fire, but just, the nighttime scene. I don't really see the fire anywhere, but it's kind of cool to see the night lights. And right here too. So I try to look at these and they're just not. That's the freeway cams. Let's see what. Sometimes they won't. Yeah, they're just not working. I don't know why they go out. Like, they seem to go out right when there's a fire somewhere. And that's not cool. But anyhow, I just wanted to show you guys this one. It hasn't really gotten bigger so far. It's just still zero containment, but I just wanted to show you that they updated the. So sorry about that. I just wanted to show you that they updated the fire area, like the burnt areas, and it appears that it hasn't grown. Now, the beginning of this video that I started last night, and I'm continuing it this morning, Tuesday morning. So it's still at 50 acres. It appears that they're not showing it on the freeway anymore, which is probably more accurate if it wasn't caused by a vehicle. So last night it was actually across the freeway. So I'm assuming that they don't have it closed anymore. If they did at first, they probably opened it back up because the fire didn't grow overnight and it's not really on the freeway. But as you can see, there are just areas that were burning, and even some embers flew over into this, I think it's a business of some sort. So their little back lot right here caught on fire. Now it looks like there might be some trash or oil, something or other in this area that could be pretty flammable. I don't know what it is. It looks maybe like it could be some sort of gas station for like semis. I don't know. Anyhow, this is saying that there's a power outage, so it might be that the fire itself caused the power outage, but it also could just be they're doing that for precaution. So in California, since all these crazy fires have started, we now have planned rolling blackouts. So that's the result of high winds and fire season. So if you join us for fire season next year, just be aware that you could be without power from time to time, and for no reason other than it's fire season. So we've learned to kind of like deal with it. Now I will tell you, when they very first started putting these EV charging stations in my area, I was upset because I knew that that was going to create a heavier strain on the grid. We already have a heavy strain on our grid in this area because of the temperatures. So every single person is running their AC, maybe AC and a swamp cooler. It just depends on what you have available to you. And so yeah, just beware that if you come and visit, there's possibly going to be blackouts due to these fire dangers. And they're trying to prevent it. So that's the whole point. Now, it looks like they got the cameras on the freeway up and running again. That's a good sign. And you still can't see any kind of fire, but yeah, we already looked at that one. So I am going to view this camera real quick so that we can see if there's, it appears that there is still smoke in the area, but I don't see anything that indicates it's still actually burning heavily. So from what I can see, it isn't, but the area is still very smoky. Let's see if we can view it from this camera. I don't know why they don't want to work sometimes. Okay. So there's the freeway. You can see the cars going. And it seems like the fire was probably just smoldering overnight, like there wasn't real big flames or anything. So like I said, being that it hasn't grown, it is 5% contained today. Very, very good. So let's go check out, before I leave you guys, let's go check out some other areas and see how things are going. I'm not going to look at these fires that are on their way out because they haven't said anything about flare-ups, so I think it's all right. Now this one doesn't appear to have grown. It's 19,022 acres, 54% containment. Still a evacuation order level 3 go. Here's your map for the area that is closed off due to the fire. And so Shasta Trinity National Forest, if you live there, you already know by this time, you know that this is going on in your mountains, and it looks to be just a smoldering pot. Not too bad. It does look like the fire is dying down, so that's a very good indication. So that's the green fire, and now we're gonna head over to the Butler fire and see if there's been any changes. So this one's 17,849.2 acres at 6% containment. I believe that is the first indication of containment that this fire has had, because it's been just really, really difficult. The firefighters, other than air combat, with this particular fire, it was almost impossible to get in these areas. I mean, for some of it, let's see, yeah, it's mostly just all mountains with hardly no access roads. So this one had to be combated with airplanes and helicopters. And over here, they actually do have the opportunity. Now, I don't pretend to know a whole lot about firefighting, but I would assume that it's a possibility that they do have a fire boat. You never know. But this would be an opportunity for them to utilize a vehicle like that. And I would, because you could just have the boat in the water and use the water to fight the fire. Just a pump sucking it from the river. But I don't know how they do things. Perhaps there's an ordinance against something like that. And I would say for these fires, like, we should pull out all the stops that we can to put them out. But that's just me. I also am a huge advocate for locking up arsonists in jail. That's me. I agree with that. I'll sign a petition or whatever. I'll do whatever to get that to be a law. I know it's already a law, and I sound funny saying that, but it just feels like they know people are starting some of these fires and they don't do anything. Like, they're focused on other things right now. Meanwhile, the West is still on fire. So, until they start putting people in jail for playing with matches, let me tell you a story. I wasn't even born yet, but this is a story that was told to me by my parents. And once upon a time ago, we lived in Palm Springs, California. And you know that big, huge mountain called Mount San Jacinto? It's like a huge, huge mountain. I think it's the largest single piece of granite in North America. And if you're on the Palm Springs side of it, it's huge. But if you're on the Hemet side of it, it just looks like a little rolling hill, because Palm Springs is below sea level. Anyhow, my brothers were about, I think my oldest brother was probably about 10 or so, and my second oldest brother, they're both older than me, he was probably, I don't know, maybe 7. And they were hanging out with the local kids. We lived in the veterans track because my dad's a Vietnam vet, and that was the house I was born in, because I wasn't born in a hospital. But anyhow, back to the story of my brothers and their friends playing with matches. And, they're kids. Kids are known to do that, especially if you don't teach them not to. Now, we don't have matches matches back in the 70s were like everywhere. You would go to a hotel room, there's matches. You go to a restaurant, there's matches. There's ashtrays on the table where, and my parents did smoke while we were sitting there trying to eat our food. So anyways, back to the story, and I just clicked on one of those fires. My brothers and his friends were playing with matches over by the oleander bushes, and if you know what kind of bush that is, it's not only a flammable bush, but it's highly toxic. Like, even the smoke is very toxic. So you don't want to burn oleander bushes. If you're, we actually learned this at 4-H survival camp, that if you're going out into the desert scrounging for firewood, and you come across those ones, even if they're dry and you're not sure what they are, you need to be really careful, because you can't just burn whatever you find. If you start to burn the oleander bushes, the branches and stuff, you could end up in the hospital. So back to the story about how my brothers actually ended up lighting the entire mountain on fire when they were little kids. This is how serious that kids shouldn't play with matches or anything of the sort. And so they got their hands on some matches and lit the oleanders bushes on fire. And because one thing led to another, those bushes, like, they lit up, and it was like a line of gas, you know, like lighting a line of gas just trickling down the street. That's how it is when you're burning something that's, you know, out in the desert. It just goes like the movies. And I mean, I don't mean to laugh, because I wasn't necessarily there at this time. I wasn't born yet. But this is true. This really happened. And let me try to show you the area where this happened at. So, right here, Palm Springs, this mountain right here. Do you see this mountain range? You see Mount San Jacinto State Park. This was the mountain that was lit on fire. And I'm going to just take a wild guess that we were living probably around this area right here, pretty close to the mountain. So it got lit on fire and just went whoosh. And it was I think it lasted for like a week. And the boys did get in trouble. I will tell you what, my dad was pretty rough. Like, he was never like that with me. But I was told that when my brothers lit the mountain on fire, oh my God. Yeah, he used corporal punishment. I mean, he's a Vietnam vet, and they did something dangerous that could have put thousands of people's lives in danger. So yes, he did whoop their butts. Not so much my brother, the younger brother, because he was still pretty little, but definitely my oldest brother got in a lot of trouble for that. So, and I don't even know if his friends got in trouble. Like, I have heard that they didn't really, I don't know, maybe they did. Maybe my dad had to step in and discipline, because I don't know if the other boys had a dad. So it was kind of up to my dad to teach them all a lesson. And I guess that concludes my story today, and I'm just sharing that story because I want everyone to just be careful. Like, when I was a kid, we didn't have fires like this. This is so much. Like, I know maybe it's because of social media and stuff, and we're more connected that way, and we can see the news clear across the planet these days, and so maybe we just see it more, we hear about it more. But honestly, I only remember 2 times when that mountain caught fire, and one of them I wasn't even alive for. Like, I wasn't born yet. But in my lifetime, that mountain burned twice. And I remember seeing it burning. Like, you could see the whole outline of the mountain at nighttime. And it was really scary, because it's such a big mountain, and to see the whole thing lit up, it's kind of like felt like the end of the world when I was a kid. I think it burnt a second time when I was about 7. So I just remember, like, we lived pretty far away, so it wasn't like we were in any danger. But at that time, we didn't live in Palm Springs anymore. So anyhow, there's my story of the day to go along with the Wild Wild West fires. And I hope you have a beautiful day, guys. Bye-bye.